So, welcome to my review of this week's show, which was, of course, season 2, episode 3. And after last week's show, after last week's review, I said, maybe I'm overselling this show. Maybe I'm hyping it up too much. Maybe it's not as good as I said it was. After last week's show, I did spend this whole week. That's not all I did, but a lot of my time, a lot of my YouTube experience. I spent a lot of time on YouTube. Shocker, right? A lot of my time on YouTube was spent watching Lucha Underground, watching the first season. But after my review, I'm like, maybe it's not that good. Maybe it was only that episode. Maybe it was only episode 2 that was really good. Let's see next week. After this show, gotta say, just as satisfied. I'm just as satisfied, and it was such a good show. It was just as good as last week. Just as good, but different. You had different characters, different storylines, different backstage vignettes, different matches. The main event was a last luchador standing match. A last man standing match, pretty much. Between Phoenix versus King Cuerno. People that didn't have a match last week. This is a good thing that Lucha Underground is only 1 hour, because every week, and I can see this now, every week we get new characters. Every week we get new storylines. Now that I brought this match up, though, I have to talk about it, even though it was the last match. This match was high-flying. It was very fast-paced. There was some really good spots. Phoenix would do like springboards to the outside, do spinning moves. King Cuerno would throw Phoenix into the stands where there was a bunch of wooden chairs. And the ending, whoa! They were gonna climb up into a barricade. Phoenix climbs up, and King Cuerno climbs up after him on the ladder. They're both climbing, and Cuerno tries to get a hold of him. He tries to get a hold of him, right? He tries to get a hold of him. Tries to get a hold of his leg. Phoenix kicks, and he lets go. Cuerno lets go, and he pushes the ladder off. This has to be like a 20-foot ladder, man. And he falls right onto the table. Count of 10. Man, what a good freaking match. And the show ended with the backstage vignette where there was some undercover cops. They're, of course, probably luchadors. And they're looking for the boss of Lucha Underground, who is Dario Cueto, who is an authority figure, who is a bad guy, who is a guy that admits that he does this to make money, but also because he loves the violence. He loves seeing people hurt. And these guys are looking for him. He hasn't been on the show since the whole season, so they're looking for him, like if he's done something wrong, like if he's a criminal. So I'm looking forward to that. There's a few backstage vignettes with Katrina, Mil Muertes' manager per se. She's like an evil woman, and she's out there motivating Mil Muertes. He's motivating him, and she's talking to the opponents too. She was talking to Phoenix, trying to intimidate them, and he's like, man, my only regret was leaving Phoenix. I left him without a title, but why did I let him come back to Lucha? Why is he back? So the vignettes are good. They're fun, and they're of course a TV show. It's like a TV show vignette, and it's filmed so nicely. There was a really weird and interesting vignette in the back where I later found out his name was what was his name? Aerostar. And he's like, oh, this is all in Spanish. He's like, I gotta look for the gods. He's like, the gods are coming back. And some guy he was with, he's like, they're not coming back until 1,000 years. And he said, well, then I gotta look for them. And he has like a thing in his chest, like a circle, like Iron Man. And it starts lighting up. And he just looks up and he flies away. When in a wrestling show do we see this? This is so much fun. This is entertaining. This is entertaining in a wrestling show. The thing is, there's a lot of wrestling and there's a lot of entertaining in that 1 hour. That 1 hour, there's a lot of entertaining. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know who this guy is or why he's flying or what he is. I think he's like an Iron Man type of guy, and they could do that in Lucha Underground because it's a show. It's a show. It's like a movie. Like you suspend your belief because it's done so well. The acting is done so well. The storylines are done so well. Speaking of interesting characters, this is my first time seeing Drago, who is a literal dragon. This guy, not a dragon gimmick, he's a dragon. Like he has his tongue comes out and everything, like if he was a dragon. And he faced Jack Evans, and this was such a good match. I'm like, I look forward to seeing Drago have a match. But the guy that I was most impressed with is Jack Evans. Man, this guy does some impressive stuff, man. He could jump on the top rope just like with no momentum. He could jump on the top rope. And the other stuff he did was a standing moonsault. It was a standing moonsault. And he does a few flips and then he hits his opponent. So this guy's really impressive and he's such a heel. He beats Drago with the roll up and he has a foot on the ropes. Such a cheater. And then the announcer's trying to announce that he won. And he's like, shut up, grabs the mic. And he's like, I am the winner, Jack. Oh, that's not good enough. I am Jack the Dragon Slayer. Which that got a nuclear heat from the fans, man. Such a good... I cannot... If you guys think I'm overselling this, you guys are wrong. You gotta watch this. You have to watch the show to really know how good it is, how good it's shot, how good the matches are choreographed, how good everything is done. And the first match, I did this review backwards. So the first match was between the debuting Cobra Moon, who's a woman, against Bengala, who's a man. And in the Lucha Underground universe, the women could compete with the man. And that's another cool thing about them. The women aren't like the divas. They aren't weak. They aren't smaller than the men. They're just as tough and they're just as good. And they're just as willing to have a great match with men. And Cobra Moon won. Cobra Moon won this match. Not only won, she won by submission. She won this match by submission. All this time talking about how wrestling is a sexist and all this. Lucha Underground treats their women just like the men because it puts them one-on-one together. And sometimes, if the woman is a better wrestler, she could beat the man. So, another great show by Lucha Underground. Another show that developed characters, that developed storylines, had great backstage, had great backstage vignettes. Oh, it also gave a vignette for another guy that was in last season. His name was El Tejano, who is gonna come back to Lucha Underground next week. So we have that looking forward. He was in a bar and then he's like, no one wants to fight me. And then these guys try to fight him. He grabs a rope, bam, does all his cowboy stuff. He's a dude with the cowboy hat, throws them all across the bar. Awesome. It's effective in doing it's entertaining and it makes me look forward to the next week. Another job well done, man. You guys really check for your sake, for any wrestling fan's sake, or anybody that just wants to be entertained for an hour. Watch this show. Please contribute to the ratings. They deserve to be on TV for as long as they can. Thanks everybody for watching, and please subscribe for more reviews. Peace.